well, that's no big deal. But whenever you have to change a light bulb and you have to then lead worship, and you're flustered and you had to go dig for the ladder, the heart man believes, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. And I think about that. And I want to ask this question. I want you to ponder it for just a moment. The first question was, what is our discipline like as a disciple? And I'm saying rediscovering our purpose is part of that. So here's my question for you. What do you confess on a day-to-day basis? What comes out of your mouth on a day-to-day basis? I want you to stop and think about that for a moment. Think about a day in your life. And think about the words that you say. We got people of all ages in the congregation today at different parts of life, lots of different jobs. And if you think about a typical day in your life, how many times do you talk about Jesus? How many times do you, when the day's hard and you are angry at somebody, as we're talking about in Pastor's Pals this morning, it's my response, your response, our response is to talk about the person instead of figuring out what does Jesus want to do about that. Because confession is made, what comes out of our mouth is what our hearts believe. And that is something, I think, very, very key to the overall lesson of Hebrews 2, 1 through 4. Because in Hebrews 2, 1, it says, "We must therefore pay even more attention to what we have heard, so we will not drift away." And I like that word, drift. If you think about drifting, I don't know in this congregation how many of you have ever been on boats. But a drifting boat can be a terrible thing whenever your motor is going, right? You're in trouble. A drifting boat, if you forgot to tie up your boat right at the dock for whatever reason, and it starts to drift, that can be problematic, right? I mean, think about that for a moment. Even whenever you're out and you don't drop anchor and you just start to drift, there's no telling where you go or what you get caught up in. Well, that's much like your faith. Without keeping concentration on your purpose, your discipline, day after day, making sure your